605-615-4131. And to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to Buy Me a Coffee. BuyMeACoffee.com/Jesse, JOP Talk, or Bond JLP Cash App. Your friend, and I'm going to get to your calls later, but I got to talk to your friend, my friend, and the friend of the world, and a friend of God. And a friend of God. One of the smartest white men on this side of heaven. Have read every book on earth. Bill Lockwood is here once a month, the last of the month. He is here now, and I'm so glad because we got election coming up next week, and I really want to hear how he's feeling about things, what he's thinking about this campaign, how this happened, and so forth. Bill Lockwood is a patriot. Is the host of Patriot Pulpit and Bible Studies with Bill Lockwood. He is a preacher in Our Park Church, at Our Park Church of Christ in Texas. And I really want you to support him. We're going to give it out again, but American Liberty with BillLockwood.com. American Liberty with BillLockwood.com. Bill, good morning.
Good morning, Jesse. How are you today?
All is well. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. It's great to be with you. And I like that background. That's a kind of a spooky background there.
Oh,
that's right.
Do you celebrate Halloween?
Oh, not really. I mean, I don't do much really. I don't.
Yeah.
I used to when I was a kid. I'd dress up and go around get candy, but I don't.
I don't either now. You're right. I used to do it too. Yeah. What do you think about those Christians who say Christians should not celebrate Halloween? It's evil.
Well, I think it's just a fun time. I mean, I don't think there's any celebration of really spiritual things.
Yeah.
I know some people take it that way, and I think the satanic groups like to pretend that it's that way. But it was just a fun thing, in my estimation. Fill up my little plastic pumpkin with candy, and dress up as a Three Musketeer or something. I never got the impression I was celebrating something dark.
Me either, Bill. You're absolutely right. What a mess. So how are you seeing the campaign? We got 1 week from yesterday when we vote again. How do you feel about the campaign? What do you think so far about the presidential campaign?
Well, I do have high hopes for Donald Trump, and I do have some positive feeling about it. At the same time, I have always, and I've said this from the beginning, that I anticipate anger and hatred and violence from the left.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that's already starting to see pour out into the, at least that's how they're talking. And so I've noticed a couple of things, interestingly, that, for example, Kamala Harris said a couple of years ago that she was ready to mobilize the Department of Defense against people who would say speak out misinformation online and so forth, things that are already occurring in the UK and in France because they don't have the First Amendment. So if people speak out in a conservative fashion, then they arrest them. That is, if they put out what they call misinformation. So, of course, that's exactly what she wants to do. So she wants to get rid of the First Amendment. So it's pretty frightening. But the DOD, the Department of Defense, has already been mobilized in some respects for this possibility. So I think it's kind of frightening, really.
It is. It's amazing that in the United States of America, we, the people, have to even think about this kind of stuff. It seems like third world stuff. You hear about this in other countries. Growing up, I never imagined that we would have to be concerned that our government would do that to us, period.
Right. Well, we have come to a real sad point in our country where the politics have become so divided. But it's more than that, because Marxism, socialism has taken our country by storm, and we are facing a gigantic government, a deep state. Just as illustration of that, think about who's running the government now. Everybody's asking the question, who's running the government?
Yeah.
Joe Biden is obviously in cognitive decline, and he's out there right now calling all of us garbage
I
that are
know.
voting for Trump. I mean, so you know what? This is example of Michelle Obama saying, they go low, we go high. I thought, what a joke! That's the very opposite of the truth. They're going low, and so they're becoming so ugly, so vitriolic, and so hate filled that I think it's very frightening.
Interesting too, Bill, is that they are saying that we are angry, that the Republicans are angry, but they're the one that is displaying anger all over the place. They're saying
Michelle,
horrible things. Did
Michelle,
you hear?
Michelle Obama said Saturday she's an angry black woman.
Yeah, I was
She
going to
said
ask you
that.
about that.
She said that out loud and point blank, and it's just like, oh, if I say that, if she's an angry black woman, then you're going to say, wow, you're racist. She said I'm an angry black woman.
Yeah.
And she said, that's what's happening here. It's just everything they say is the opposite is the case, except for that comment. But just that's what's happening in our country. And I think that the anger and hatred and vitriol is pouring forth out of the left continually.
I heard that talk with Michelle Game, and it was evil. I can't think of another
Yeah.
word but evil. And she said that, and when she said that, I'm like, what the?
I thought, you know what? You talk about they go low, we go high. I thought she is absolute. You know what? And also, one of the things that she brought up in that speech was she talked about women's health, and she wanted to use the scaremongering tactic of people
Yeah.
who are dying on a table, an abortion table. The point is that she's not interested in women's health. She's not interested in health of people at all. Number one, they have had open borders that have destroyed the women of this country.
Yeah.
But number two, the point is that is life in the womb. I think it is so important to emphasize, Jesse, that the Bible as well as science shows that a baby in the womb is life in the womb.
Yeah.
She is not interested in protecting life. She says it's all about women's health, and somehow the Republicans are against women's health. And here's something else interesting as well. Do you know that she talked about Donald Trump and his amoral character? Do you know right now, according to the New York Times, 17 porn stars have joined the fight on the side of the Democrats, more Democrats, and two Democratic aligned organizations have put out pro-pornography ads for the Democratic Party, as if to say Republicans are going to shut down somehow and put you in jail if you look at pornography, which, of course, that is not anything at all that's going to actually happen. And no one has ever floated that idea, but they're the ones pushing pornography. And yet she gets up there and talks about amoral Donald Trump. I thought, what?
Yeah.
I don't know. These people, they don't know how low they go is really so sad.
The one thing that I've noticed about the Democrats since they've been in office, everything that they accuse the Republicans of, especially with Donald Trump, is what they are already doing. They're already doing these things. And they're saying, well, if the Republican get in, this is what's going to happen. I'm like, it's already happening. This is what y'all been doing all along.
That is exactly right.
Yeah.
I thought this was funny too. I wasn't able to watch live Donald Trump's Madison Square Garden speech,
Right.
but I was on the road at the time. And so then when I got home, I thought, well, I pulled it up. But anyway, I heard all the mainstream media, news anchors, and people on The View talking about how he's a Nazi, and it reminds him of 1939 and Nazism and fascism and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, and he bashed the Puerto Ricans and how terrible he was. And he's just a wicked, wicked man. I thought, so I pulled up the speech and listened to it. I thought, it was a great speech. I thought it was wonderful.
Yeah.
It was a great speech. It was positive. It was Americana. We're going to get back to doing this. And here's the policies were laid out. I thought, what in the world are they talking about? They just have so hate filled. It's pretty sad.
Yeah, it would be awful if they get back in if they are reelected because I believe it'll just be over for this country. We won't have a chance to ever
No.
succeed it again. You know, I noticed that they're supposed to be for women. Michelle Obama, like, oh, they're coming after us. They ain't
Yeah.
gonna hurt us. They're gonna.
Yeah.
But they have allowed all these illegal aliens to come in from around the world, and they don't
Right.
know who they are. They're from prisons from around the world. And so many American women are getting raped and
Right.
robbed and killed by these people. They don't care. I don't hear an outcry from the liberal women or anyone really that women are being raped by illegal aliens. They don't seem to bring that up at all.
You know, a couple of points on that, Jesse. Number one, it shows they have a disdain for the American law. The law is on
Yeah.
the books right now, and they have violated the law on a continual basis. Joe Biden, I challenge anyone to say that that is not the case. He has violated the law continually. Not only have they done that, but they have not only allowed illegals to come in, but they have actually facilitated it. They have invited them. They have flown them over the border. They dropped them into different cities. And the purpose, of course, is to destroy, because they hate America. They destroy America. I hear people on the news all the time talking in these middle American cities, the cities where they think are populated by deplorables and garbage, of course,
Yeah.
evidently. And these people are saying, you know what? My city used to be a peaceful city, but they dropped in, for example, 20,000 Nigerians right here into my little town of 30,000 people, and now everything is run amok and everything's out of control, and we have gangs taking over the streets, and we can't walk the streets any longer.
Yeah.
Who's responsible for that? That's the Biden administration. They want to destroy America.
That is my, every time I hear that and I see that it is happening, except for understanding the human heart, how evil the heart can be, it blows my mind that our government has brought in trouble upon the American people, upon we the
Right.
voter. It wasn't done by anyone else but our own government who we hired to work for us, to protect us, to have a strong military. And they have brought trouble in. In California, Bill, not a day goes by when there's not a home invasion or robbery or someone is being killed on the freeway or on the streets. Violence on the freeway now, and some home has been robbed 3 times in less than 2 or 3 weeks, back to back. And our government did this. It's not like
Right. Right.
it's not like we did it. The government did it. I didn't think that the government could do or would do this to us or to the people.
No, the government is the enemy of the people. That is the deep state. And let's go back to that, what I mentioned a moment ago. Who's running the country? Joe Biden certainly is not.
Right.
Kamala Harris certainly is not. She's not capable of doing so. Nor is she capable of doing so because she's 100% on the campaign trail. So who's running the country? The answer is the deep state. If anyone denies that, just think about how they kicked out Joe Biden, who had all the votes of the Democratic Party around the country. Kamala Harris, who had not one single vote, they put her in.
Yeah.
They don't believe in democracy. They don't believe in the Republic of America. They don't believe in the democratic process. They don't believe that. Barack Obama and the insiders have put up a particular person, not Michelle, but they put up Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
Might as well be Michelle. They
Right.
put her up simply because they're controlling the country already. That's what's happening across the country. That's what's happening in California. We have the deep state controlling what's going on in America. They violate the law 100% of the time, every single day of the year. And yet they say Donald Trump doesn't respect the law and he's in it for himself. I tell you, their hypocrisy knows no bounds.
Yesterday, Gavin Newsom announced another buku money to house the homeless, right?
Yeah.
And I was thinking, we got to pay for that now. The taxpayers are going to be paying for that. And it was interesting in that these people encourage people to be homeless. They give them drugs. They make it possible for them to be homeless. They give them drugs and free food and everything. And now they say, okay, now we've allowed all this homeless, encouraged and made it happen. Free pot, free needles, free everything. Now we're going to put you in homes. We're going to get you homes. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's crazy to me.
It is crazy. You know what? We got off the track many, many years ago when we started socialism in this country. That is the transferring of wealth from one individual to another, or from a group of individuals in the middle class to other individuals in society. That is all unconstitutional in our constitutional system. We got off track on that way back in the period of FDR, actually. And so we started transferring money from one pocket of society to another pocket.
Yeah.
And so now the sky is the limit, because as the imagination of man, as evil as that imagination may be, that's as far as they want to go. So they want to give money to illegal aliens.
Yeah.
While they're in foreign countries, fly them over here free. They get on planes without even having to be vetted. They don't have to show an ID. They don't have to show that they don't have to show anything to get on planes. They fly them into the country. If I go to the airport, I'm going to have to go through the scanner and I have to put my arms up, and everybody takes pictures of my body, whether I have. They don't care about that.
Right.
They just absolutely violate the law consistently and continually. That's why Donald Trump is so popular, because he wants to get back to law and order, law for the American people, and order in America, and bar people who do not belong here from coming here.
I don't, and maybe you can help me. I'm black and slow. So maybe you can.
I don't know about that. You may be black, but I'm not. I know you're not slow.
I can't think of one reason why anyone, liberal, conservative, Christian, non-Christian, male, female, white, black, whatever color, I can't think of one reason why anyone would vote for Kamala Harris. I'm just not, I can't think of a reason. Why would anyone vote for Kamala Harris?
You know, as Michelle Obama said the other day in her speech, I lay awake at night and wonder what's going on in this country. Why is it even close? That's exactly what a conservative, that's what Christian people are wondering, or people who have any common sense or any constitutional background at all are wondering, how can a Kamala Harris, who disdains our Constitution, who violates the law, who is a Marxist, who has she actually put people out of jail who were from the Black Lives Matter, which is a Marxist organization, trained Marxist organizers. On the front page of it, they say they want to disband the American family, and she supported all of that. She continues to support it, bails people out of jail, puts them back on the streets to commit more violence. How can anyone with common sense and half a mind vote for a Kamala Harris? I have no clue. Yeah, why is it even close, Michelle Obama?
When I get to heaven, that's going to be my first question for God.
Yeah.
I'm like, God, why? Yeah. Why would they vote for her? I know we're running out of time here, so tell the folks how we should be feeling right now about all this stuff that's happening, the election coming up, all this mess.
Well, I think it's kind of like we're driving a car and we kind of have the foot on the brake just a little bit, or on the clutch, just like I feel good about it. I feel good about the popularity of Donald Trump, and I feel good about the popularity of people who want to roll back the size of government, by the way, which is not fascism. That is more constitutionalism. He wants to roll back the size of government. I feel good about that and his popularity. However, at the same time, I am perfectly aware, I am not naive at the ugliness and the lawlessness of the left.
Yeah.
I mean, and it is coming out very clearly that they're already having problems in Pennsylvania. They've already had so many problems with voting, illegals voting, and in Virginia right now, the federal government is suing the state of Virginia to allow illegals to vote. So the problem is, as I see it, we better be really out there voting for Donald Trump and being active. At the same time, I'm going to be positive, but also realistic, and know that the left knows no bounds as far as violence and vitriol and ugliness and insurrection is concerned, because that's where the insurrection comes from, the left.
Yeah. Two quick things, Bill. One is I reported yesterday that up in Washington State, I believe, in Portland, somewhere up in there, you know how they have those drop box for the voting things? Well, they set a couple of those boxes on fire. And so now those voters, people who have already put their votes in there, been destroyed. So they won't know about that.
Yeah, that kind of thing is going on in several places I've read about. They also have problems in Pennsylvania and Virginia, as I mentioned. So, I think there's always going to be that kind of situation. But the sad thing is the Department of Justice is suing the state of Virginia to allow illegals to vote.
Yeah,
and not to clean up the voter rolls. This is what this is about. This is about the integrity of elections. And by the way, if we don't have integrity of elections, we don't have a country.
Yeah.
Period. That's the bottom line.
Amazing. Bill, with a few words or less, what is the blue state? How do we recognize? Because, I hear about not the blue state, but the
blue wall.
You said that our government is not controlled by Joe Biden, but
right.
It controls
the deep state.
Yeah, what is the deep state?
Okay, I believe the deep state is very simple, and that is that it is a bureaucracy of hundreds of thousands of bureaucrats that have been appointed and put into office and they are ensconced in Washington, D.C., and in major centers of the United States. They are not voted on by the American people, but they have been created. The departments have been created by the government. And so the departments have been created, and they actually are controlling the direction of government. The people, they have big money. They control the Barack Obamas, the George Soroses of the world, the Liz Cheneys of the world. All of these people are their operatives, and they actually are controlling the direction of our government, the deep state. That is the bureaucrats that are unelected, that are ensconced in Washington, D.C. and other locales in America. That's the deep state, and they are 100% socialist.
Amazing. That's amazing. Bill, I don't want to keep you late today. I don't have to write a note for your principal.
Okay.
So
thank you for that.
Tell the folks how they can help you, where to go to, whatever information you want to put out there.
Well, thank you for that, Jesse.
Yeah.
So to assist me, AmericanLibertyWithBillLockwood.com, and there's a donate button on that. My podcast is patrioticpulpit.com, Patriotic Pulpit, and that's on Amazon Music app as well as Spotify app. So that's the podcast that I do, as well as, of course, I have Bible studies with Bill Lockwood, and that's the pulpit that I preach in at Iowa Park Church of Christ. And so Bible studies with Bill Lockwood, Patriotic Pulpit, that's the podcast, and then the website, American Liberty with Bill Lockwood.
Amazing. Well, Bill, we'll see what happened come Tuesday.
Yes, sir. We'll be praying about it.
And I know normally when they have election day, we know before who won, but I'm wondering, will we know on Tuesday who won, or is it going to take a half a year to find that out? Who won?
You know what? The way they set up elections now, it could take a long time.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. Sad.
It is, man. I want my country back, but it's gone.
I do too. I know.
Bill, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Jesse. Love you, and take care of yourself, and we're praying for you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye now. Amazing.